Abraham Lincoln, the President of the United States, suffered a tremendous amount. He lost 2 of his 4 children while he was living. His country was at war with one another. Hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of Americans died killing each other. And yet it was Lincoln who said, "People are as happy as they decide to be." And that's my argument here. You should make the decision to be happy, or at least to act happy, even if you're not. Because we owe it to everyone in our life to be happy. When I meet a person with a happy disposition, and I meet thousands upon thousands of people a year, when I meet someone who has a happy disposition, I immediately think well of them. I think well of them as I would if I met a kind person or an honest person. That's how important having a happy disposition is, and everybody knows it, because everybody wants to be around people who have happy dispositions. So I've made an interesting observation because I have talked to so many couples over decades. And here is what I have concluded. Most marriages are a Moody married to a non-Moody. On occasion, 2 non-Moodies marry, but I have never once heard of or met a Moody married to a Moody, which has led me to the following conclusion. The Moody may be miserable, but they're not stupid. They never marry one of their own. How you act is everything. If you act miserable, you'll be miserable. If you act happy, you will be happier. That's just the way it works. We are the product of our behavior. Instead of thinking you are the product of your feelings, you must think you are the product of your behavior. It's true about everything in life. Act it. Or, as the 12 steppers would say, fake it till you make it. In the American Declaration of Independence, a brilliant document, speaks about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The founders of the United States, whom I consider to have been giants in wisdom, these people understood you should pursue happiness. That's what Lincoln said. We are as happy as we decide to be. So how do you pursue it? Well, you begin pursuing it by becoming grateful. You pursue it by acting happy. And you pursue it by doing the things that bring happiness, not necessarily pleasure. A musical instrument, hard work, religion, marriage, family, self-discipline. Those are roots to pursuing happiness. The happy make the world better, and the unhappy make it worse. When you think of the worst people in history, do you think of happy people? If you think of the Nazis, do you think of happy Nazis? Is that the first adjective that comes to your mind? Of course not. Happy people don't become Nazis. Happy people don't become communists, don't become fascists, don't become racists. Happy people are way better for humanity than the unhappy and the moody and the ungrateful. Let me deal with some objections to what I have said to you. Objection number 1, it's inauthentic. I get this all the time, especially when I talk about happiness to kids at schools. Hey, it's not authentic. You're not being your real self if you act happy and you don't feel it. So how's this? You know what's authentic? Back to my old example. Body odor, that's authentic. Deodorant is inauthentic. Soap is inauthentic.
Is still the old-fashioned use of soap, hot water, and plenty of elbow grease.
Toothpaste is inauthentic. So let me ask you, what's better, your authentic odor or deodorant odor? Which do you think is a better idea? This notion of authentic, what does it mean? If people acted authentic, you know how many bad things they would do? We're not just filled with great and noble desires in life. I don't know what this authenticity thing is about. Now, you don't want people who are fakers in a bad sense, that they act noble but they're really ignoble or whatever. But the authenticity argument doesn't work. And just remember how inauthentic deodorant is, and you'll get my point. Number 2, what about the clinically depressed? Dennis, are you telling them to act happy? They're clinically depressed. They have neurological problems. They have physiological issues. So I have no answer to that. If you are literally incapable of acting happy because of physiological blocks, my heart goes out to you. If it's a medical issue, then you may well need medication. I fully acknowledge that. I am addressing the great majority of people for whom that is not the issue. Nothing can address every single situation in life. Number 3, there is the objection of, well, the happy, they have an easier life than those of us who are unhappy. So of course it's easy for them to be happy. But what about us who have had really rough lives? So let me tell you something. In my life, and I have led a long life and a life interacting with very many people, I have found virtually no correlation between the amount of pain people have had in their lives and their disposition. I have known people who have had the greatest pain of all, perhaps, the death of a child, and who, if you met them, you would think you were in the company of a person without a care in the world. They have figured out a way to still embrace life, still pursue happiness, still have a happy disposition. And I have met people who have had virtually no serious trauma, virtually no serious problems in life. And they have been miserable. A woman called me up one happiness hour. She said, Dennis, you're going to like this one. I am the child of Holocaust survivors. My parents are Jews from Europe who lost everything. Their spouses, their children, their parents were all murdered by the Nazis. My husband was born in America and lost no one. Guess which one of us is the miserable one? Him. That woman had a very big impact. And by the way, the mother of happiness is gratitude. You cannot be happy if you're not grateful. If you do want to be happy, and this is the point of my whole talk here, is that you should want to be happy, be grateful. So the question really arises, why are there people who act moody and unhappy? And I have wrestled with this. A lot of people have called me and told me over the years that there are people who like being unhappy. And I got to tell you, that sounds like telling me there are people who like having fever. Why would you like to be unhappy? I don't have a full answer to that. The answers that people have given me include, well, the unhappy, the greasy wheel gets the oil. The unhappy seem to get more attention, and they love the attention. No one other than you can make you happy. That's really important. A lot of people think, they'll marry someone who will make them happy. By the way, that is why the non-moody often marry the moody. They think that they have the power to make that person happy. You don't. You cannot make another person happy. You can make another person miserable, but you cannot make another person happy. You make you happy. I wrote a book on happiness, which I'm not trying to sell you, I promise. But in it, I give example after example of the issues that people confront, like the gratitude issue. You can't be happy if you're not grateful. You won't want to read such a book if you don't understand you are the answer to your unhappiness. No one else is, including your spouse. That is too big a burden, and it's one that they cannot meet in any event. Your husband cannot make you happy, and your wife cannot make you happy. By the way, your children cannot make you happy either. Don't look to your children to make you happy. That's a very common problem in parenting. A lot of people think, oh, my kids will bring me happiness. They become successful or rich or I don't know, whatever you value, but it's not true. They cannot make you happy.